We're gonna corner the syrup market.
Oh, yeah. I bet you that Aunt Jemima's just shaking in her scarf.
The wind came swirling out across the farm. It blew all the hair off my granny's arm. It blew the livestock down into the well. Blew the clappers off the town hall bell. It was a lesson we learned, and we learned it well. There's one heck of a lot of turbulence when you push a barn over. This week on Adventures with Bill, Bill's going to show us all about camping lanterns. I guess next week will be card table repair. Anyway, Bill brought look at all the equipment he's got there, all different kinds of lights. That's just kind of a normal one, and then this is kind of a little higher voltage, pretty bright light there. It's kind of focused. As opposed to Bill, who's not. Look at the size of that thing, isn't it? I've never seen a flashlight like that in my life. And Bill says, take the end off there. I don't know if it was left hand or right hand thread because she was cross-threaded, so that's kind of a bit of both. Bill's opening the batteries, up in the plastic pack there. Well, they're open. And Bill goes down and gets the battery or two. And with this, look, you can got D cells in there. It doesn't matter apparently which way you put them in, up or down, you know, the plus or minus, whatever. Just fire them all in there. It's kind of an unusual rig, this one, and takes all the different sizes, the C's and I think even the double A's, they go in side by side, kind of a Noah's Ark kind of a look to the flashlight at that point. And what else you got there? Oh, check that. I'll just check that out on my tongue. You can, yeah, that one's fine. Drop that one in there, and well, it looks pretty. Maybe you should have thought that one through, Bill. And then we're all set. Put the cap back on there, and now I'm going to hand her back to Bill. He's going to turn her on. This is going to be pretty bright, I would think. Maybe a little too bright, perhaps. But he's got something else here. This is one of these camp oil, stove oil lights. And I got the instructions, and I said, Bill, you got to read the instructions first because, you know, something dangerous could happen. Like that. Now here's something I thought was real interesting. You take a penknife, you open up the blade there, and you stick a candle on there, and you stick it into a tree, and you set up a bunch of these through the forest, and you make yourself a little path or a little campsite at night. It's fantastic. Oh, Bill, ow, ow, ow. For gosh sake. Bill? Very good balance for an older fella. I'm surprised his breath put that out. All right, this is kind of a gas, propane, pressurized with the wick in there, and is the gas is now to me. I would have thought, you know, what you want to do is light the match first, and then you know, turn the gas. Well, you know, that's me. That's me. That's not Bill. That's not Bill's way. And what? Ow! I don't know where he buys his matches, but he had the waterproof matches in a separate container. But the thing with Bill, he doesn't keep things very long. I don't know why that is. Hopefully he's got, yeah, he had a little lighter, one of those little flicking lighters thing. Or, where'd that go, Bill? Another one? Yeah, all right. He's got, for a guy who doesn't smoke, he carries a lot of firepower. And he's going to light this up and... Wow, that's a good look for you, Bill. The Arnold Schwarzenegger, the X-Terminator. Oh, well, we got a lamp out of it. Harold tells me there's a lot of young people who watch the show, and he wanted to do something just for you. Lucky you.
Hello, and welcome to what is with that cheesy music? Welcome to What's Wrong with Those Goofy Adults? This is a part of the show that's aimed at the younger generation, the cool people. This is the part of the show where we get to tell our parents and our teachers and that really smelly guy at the arcade what really ticks us off, you know? things like cheesy music or homework or cauliflower or getting a cardigan for your birthday or what else? Oh, you know what's the worst? Where you got to sit around the house and the whole family sits there and tries to figure out who you look like the most, right? Not being able to wear your clothes backwards. People saying how handsome you're going to be when your skin clears up. These are things you got to hate in life, right? So this is our opportunity to say, well, no more. Or having your show canceled after the first episode. You still got that headache, do you, Uncle Red? That's a yes.
I figured Reg Hunter could help us with the trees and the syrup, because he's a vegetarian.
Reg, I wanted to ask you, is the sap any good?
Ooh, the sap's the best part. The sap is the blood of the tree. It's got everything good, and it comes in a liquid concentrate. See, that's why trees can grow hundreds of feet high and people can't. You got the whole... Oh, yes. Yes! There must have been two of them.
Oh, Reg. You know, Reg, I think I'm just going to stay behind you here.
What exactly are we hunting today? Just so our viewers will know.
Oh, we're hunting an animal that makes this sound. Something like that.
I have no idea what that is, Red.
Neither do I, but I bet I can put a bullet in it.
Well, that was unfortunate. The sugaring off didn't really go so well.
There's a major understatement.
Well, the first part went okay. We hooked Junior's pump up to about 50 trees, and then we switched it on, and in about 15 seconds, it sucked them all dry. 40-foot oak trees imploding.
Should have seen it. Should have seen it. You know what it looked like? It's so cool. You know what it looked like? It looked like the Wicked Witch of the West and the Wizard of Oz. I'm melting! I'm melting! I'll get you and your little dog, too! Oh, the inhumanity of it all!
If he only had a brain. Anyway, it was really something to see full-grown birch trees shrinking right back down to saplings, and even the leaves were kind of curling up and rolling up the branches. But the worst part...
Oh, no, let me say. You know what the worst part was? Worst part was like the noise. It was amazing. It sounded like God flushed every toilet in heaven all at once.
Now, how would you know that, Harold? Have you ever heard all of the toilets in heaven flush at the same time?
No.
Well, if you keep interrupting, you will. Sorry. All right. As I was saying, the worst part was the sound. It sounded like a big noise of some kind. The heavenly toilet thing, I guess. And then the roots came up right through the ground, and they shriveled up and they started rolling up and they went down through the hoses and into the pump. And I'll tell you, we would have been real scared if we weren't laughing so hard.
Oh, there's the cry of the possum. That's meeting time, so I'm going to go.
Harold.
Yes.
Tell the guys that the pancake brunch is on hold.
Right. I would think so.
Well, I think we have all learned a life lesson this week, which is never connect a used Russian rocket fuel pump to a large deciduous tree. And if my wife is watching, I think maybe we should embroider that little snippet of wisdom onto one of them samplers, and we'll hang that in the kaibo there. It'll look kind of nice. I'll be coming home straight after the meeting, and I can help you spell deciduous. There's at least one J in it. And to the rest of you, on behalf of myself and Harold and the whole gang up here at Possum Lodge, thanks for watching, and keep your stick on the ice. started with the meeting. We're gonna need everybody's help here to rebuild the forest.